Hello, everybody. I'm getting myself together. Sorry, things fell apart right before I literally turned the camera on. There we go. All right. All right, you guys can hear me? Everybody good? Hey, how you doing out there, YouTube and Facebook land? This is Tony from Six String Corner. Welcome if you are on here live, and welcome also for those of you who are coming on after this live event here. So thank you for stopping by. I've kind of a last minute thing. Usually I do these on Wednesdays, but because of scheduling issues, I figured, well, how about on Thursday? Thursday is just as good as a as good as a Wednesday, so it's just a little bit closer to the weekend. So that actually is really, really cool, right? So today I want to get and do a song that I know lots of people like. If you like classic rock, it's an iconic tune called "More Than a Feeling," and I think that hopefully you find something really cool out of this. Now I'm going to have tabs. I have a Six String Corner library down below. In the description. The tab is not in there at the moment. I am almost done finishing it. This day is running a little bit late, but it will be there. I promise you, if you're watching this live right now, that it will be in by tonight or tomorrow. I will have it in there. And of course, obviously, if you're watching this after the broadcast, it's there. It's in the link. Go ahead, click it, and you join into the library. It's got all kinds of tabs, including this one. What I'm going to do, stuff that I've done here before, stuff that I've done on all my YouTube channels, stuff that I teach my students, etc., etc., etc. So I also, in the link below too, I've noticed that it's a very popular thing that's been out there has been my note finder. A lot of you need to know where your notes are on your guitar. If you know where your notes are at on the guitar, that makes life a lot easier and, a lot easier to learn. You can learn your scales, you can learn your chords, you can learn your songs a lot better if you have a knowledge of where those notes are at. It's really, really super important that you have that, and this is falling apart. And hang on just 1 second here. I have found that this wireless clip works on some straps, and it does not like this strap. So apologize for that little minor inconvenience there. All right, so we're going to get to it. Today, what I'm going to show you, it would take a very long time to go over all the soloing and all that kind of stuff for More Than a Feeling. Today, what I'm going to cover is the basics, the intro and the verse, which are pretty much the same thing, and the chorus, and then I guess sort of a bridge that would follow that. And we're going to cover that because that's stuff that repeats. That's something that most everybody out there can learn, because I know there's those of you out there have varying degrees of expertise in the song. So in your abilities to play, sorry, not the song. And so certain elements of the song might find easier than others. It incorporates a lot of things. It incorporates picking. It incorporates some picking like individual notes in the chord. It requires a little bit of strumming. It also has power chords. And it's got some slide work on that power chord, which I'll show you in a second. And I know y'all ain't going to like it, but there's a bar chord in here. Yes, you will love it. Its bar chords are your friends. You should not be intimidated ever by how to play a bar chord. So we're going to get started. Now, the song More Than a Feeling, when you listen to it, it's got several tracks of guitars on there. My favorite part, which I don't have here, it's actually packed up, but I can't play two things at the same time, is actually a 12-string. It's 12-string acoustic. If you've got a 12-string acoustic, this beginning part sounds really super sweet. I mean, it just fills out the sound a lot. I'm going to actually play it here. I'm going to put a chorus on to fill out. It's not the same as a 12-string. The 12-string like rocks for the beginning of the song, but you will hear how that sounds as I play the chorus. But if you don't have any of these effects, you don't have a 12-string, you just got a regular 6-string guitar, this will work fine. And if you're playing this somewhere, anywhere on a campfire or something, and people know this song, if you just have just your acoustic guitar, you can play this song. And I would, depending, of course, on the age group, I would imagine maybe, I don't know, you'll get some sing-alongs. People will sing along with this thing. That would be pretty fun, right? If you can play that song and More Than a Feeling, and of course, you get to the verse and people kind of know half the words, I know my, you'll get that too. But that's part of the fun, right, of playing guitar. So yeah, that's really, really cool. So, so this would be really fun. This is a nice, fun tune to play. And I guess, like I said, it involves all kinds of different techniques that you'll want to learn. So I'm going to go over that a little bit too as well. Now, there is more to the song that I'm going to cover. Like I said, there's the whole solo section. There's other things that come after it. But this is the bulk of it. If you were sitting around a campfire, unless you had multiple guitar players, it's kind of hard to play the whole solo section and all that. So you'll probably just want to play the stuff that people can sing to. So that's kind of my aim here, is to give you that. I'm going to play it on electric. Like I said, you can certainly play this on acoustic, and that would be awesome too. So I'm using a PRS guitar. I think they use Les Pauls on this song. I don't know. I always would see Tom Scholz with the Les Paul. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. But I would always see that. I like the PRS because PRS can do just about anything. It's a very flexible guitar. So that's what I'm going to be using it for today. Now my rig setup too. I have a pretty elaborate one. I've got the Kemper that I use, and I'm using what's called the Vox Night Train. It's my go-to amp profile. So if you guys are into Kempers, if you're not into Kempers, don't worry about it. Play the amp that you got, okay? This is fine. Just as long as you have a clean distortion thing. Just to give you an idea of the rig that I'm using. I'm using a Vox Night Train. It's a neat little amp. If you go out there and look for it, it's my go-to. It's my favorite amp that I use on the Kemper. It's like this is what I sit on when I'm just jamming, because you can do anything on this in this Vox Night Train, man. You can play heavy metal into jazz like that, just by the turn of a knob. I'm serious. And then I'm also using my Fractal FX8 multi-effects units, and really all I'm going to be using in here is a little bit of chorus and a little bit of drive for the distortion stuff. But again, like I said, I'm going to repeat this again, is that if you don't have that, all those things available, you will do fine. Seriously, you will do fine. This is all about having fun. But if you do have the rig, if you do have the gear, go ahead and play around with that. But there's not much to it. It's pretty much rock and roll. I use the Vox, like I said. I know they used, well, Tom eventually made the Rocktron. I'm sure there was some iteration of that back then. I'm not up on Boston lore, so if anybody knows what gear they actually had, I don't know. Could be Marshalls. I really don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's just have fun with it. All right, I'll be ready to get started. So what I'm going to do, so the camera's going to be bouncing around a little bit. Just give me a heads up. I'm going to show you the left hand. I'm going to show you the right hand, especially in the beginning, because the beginning involves certain picking motions. If this service that I use could have two cameras, I would do it, but unfortunately it does not. So we're going to have to live with this. So I'm going to move the camera back and forth. So hopefully you'll be okay with it, and it won't make you run away. All right. So here we go. I'm going to get started. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to left hand first. I'm going to go through the chords with you, and then I'm going to go to the right hand and show you the actual picking pattern. Yeah. Tom Schultz, underrated. Yes, very underrated. The guy was a genius, and not even on the guitar. I mean, just the technical stuff that he did back then, and it was just amazing what he came up with. Technology wise, I mean, that guy was a genius. What was he, an MIT graduate or something great? I mean, that guy was just he was out there. And of course, it took years between the albums, which is interesting. All right, let's get started. All right, so let me show you on the left hand. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you the intro / verse. Okay, that's the iconic start. That's going to sound, let me get my effects unit here. Going to sound something like this as soon as I turn it on. All right, let's go through that real quick. All right, let me go through the chords, and then so I'm gonna move the camera around, so sorry if it's going to be bouncing around. So we're gonna get to the left hand. I'm gonna show you the left hand first, and then we're gonna go to the right hand. All right, so take your notes. So the chord that we're gonna start with, so here we go. I even get drummers. Thanks, Tom. You're awesome, man. All right, so this is going to start. Here's the chords we're going to use. We're going to go with a D with a D sus, which means this is a standard D chord. So my assumption is you have some basic knowledge of guitar and you know this is a D chord. And then the little finger here runs on that third fret on the first string. So that's a sus chord. All right, so that's going to come in there. And then we're going to play what's called a C add 9. That's these two notes right here, and then an open G. That open G is important. It's in there a lot, and this D note is in here a lot. This third up here on the third fret, this is in here a lot as well. So this is called a C add 9, and then we're going to have what's called the G over B. All right, so those are our three chords. All right, so it's going to go something like this, and here's how it goes on the left hand, and then we'll get to the right hand. So you're going to be, when I show you the right hand, you're just picking, and then here you're going to pick that little note, little finger note, and then you release it. All right, and then keep that ring finger there when you go to the C add 9, and then keep that ring finger there, and then here's the G over B. All right, so that is. And then you're going to have this G. Technically, it's called the G5. And you're going to, so the way I do is I put my middle finger here. And when you see the picking, we're just going, I'm just picking these two notes. So I'm skipping 3 strings. All right. So here's the chord. All right, now let's give you the full body view here, and then I'll show you the right hand up close. All right, so now watch my right hand and how I pick this note, pick this. So we're going to go. So down, and notice the motion that the right hand's going. I'm going down and up. So down, up, and then I go up. So down, up, and then go right down the D chord. So I'm still sitting on that D chord. All right, and then comes this part. So that's this C note right here, an open G, and then this D note here. Why do I have this finger here? I have no idea. That's what a C added 9 looks like. I'm not using it in this part of the song. It's just, that's where my muscle memory goes. Rather than trying to recreate it, I just keep it there. It doesn't harm anything. If you accidentally hit this D note, you'll actually be hitting the chord. So you probably don't want to leave it open. All right, so just a little tip there. So, and then notice I'm skipping that D string. And then I'm going to do that same picking motion on this G over B. And then here's that G5 I call. So I said, so I'm skipping 3 strings. And you just repeat it. All right. Really quick close up on the right for those of you that need it. Okay. On the right hand here. So watch my down and up motion. Now that you've seen me how to do the chords, I'm just going to just show you how I play it here. All right. And that's how that beginning goes. All right. So. All right. Now that goes however many times it's needed for the verse, for him to sing the verse. And then to get out of the verse, there's this little connection here that is sort of is it a pre-chorus or maybe a bridge 1? I don't know. Whatever. It's kind of linking the verse and the chorus. So let's call it a bridge 1. All right. So what's going to happen here? All right. Let me show you the chords real quick. So after we play this, moving around. All right. So after we play the. All right, now notice that those are the same 2 chords that we did in the beginning, except one little difference is we want to hear this open E here. So get a little closer here. There we go. All right. Make sure that isn't that open string there. So their picking pattern changes just a little bit. So, and we let that G ring out. That's actually a quarter beat. It rings out. I used to think it went like that extra note was there. It's really not. So you just want to go. All right. See how that pick motion goes here on the right side? That sign. There we go. And between those 2 chords, you're picking the exact same strings. You can see that? Like if you didn't see my left hand, it'd be the same thing, right? All right. All right. So, and then so putting that all together, I'm just going to kind of like do the end of the verse into that part, and then we're going to go to the next section. So. All right. All right, that's our next part. So the next part, it's just now we're starting to switch here. We're coming off with a nice, pretty 12-string acoustic, chorusy sound, and we're transitioning into the rock here in this part. So I'm not going to play the rock part here. I'm just going to kind of show you where we go from here. So, all right, and then we go from an A power chord, and then we play a G power chord, and then a D. All right, or it could be here. I like actually playing the deep power chord here. It's just these 3. We're not playing that E string. So, all right, so just kind of. So, but I don't think they do dun 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 dun. I think maybe the bass might do that, but the guitar is 1, 2, 3, and. All right, so then we go to the next part. So. Here's how that sounds. Ooh, wrong sound. Do that. Give me a second here. There we go. So, so it goes 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and. All right, so what's happening there? Power chords. Woohoo! All right, power chords. We all like power chords because power chords they're fairly easy. There's some of the first chords I learned how to play. Oh, Bob takes a C note. I'm sorry, I don't have a C note, but I have a C note here. Does that count? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so these are power chords that we're going to play, and here they are, and then I'll show you how you do it to make it sound really cool, because I've seen too many lessons out there where they miss one crucial part of this chorus here. So it's a G power chord here, all right, which is 3rd fret, and these two are on the 5th fret, all right, lower string. And then we're going to go to a C, which is up here on the 8th fret, and these two are on the 10th fret, if you can see that. And then we go to the E. I play it like this, but you play it like this. It's still a power chord. It's just using these 3 notes. All right. I just play it this way. I don't play this note here. All right. And then there's a D. And there's a quick passing chord to the C. So G power chord, this C power chord, E power chord, D power chord, and the other C power chord. All right. Now, one thing that if you really want this to rock right, there's a slight little slide that you heard. I think it's actually the coolest part of that little riff, because it's just I don't know, it just sounds cool to me. So when you go from this G, right, you're sliding right up to that C. So you got 2 of these. Now you're not picking that slide. In other words, it's, and then you, all right, and then you're gonna just take that right up to the C. Notice too that you just keep these fingers in the same formation. So 1, 2, slide, and then 2 on the C, right? So, right, and then go to the E. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1. And then there's a passing C note. You just strike it once and you go back to the G. It's so hard to play this slow, right? All right. Now there's a little bit of embellishment that they actually will do if you listen to these little got a little bit of that in there, but I'm just simplifying it so that you can play this part. That's it to the main part of the chorus. So you're just doing the power chord. You can do this on acoustic. You can do it on electric. You know, obviously, if you want to get a nice little cool distortion sound. I hit the wrong thing. All right. All right. So that is the chorus. And if you can play that and people are singing, you're going to have a good time, right? That's going to be a lot of fun. So you can play that, and so there's little, like I said, little embellishments. Put them in there to keep them out. Doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. Just play that main part, and then you can embellish it however you want later. All right. So that plays, I don't know. I'll remember whenever he's done with the chorus. It's 7, 8 times, I think. But when you get to the last time when you're playing it, we're going to switch here. Okay. And here comes the bar chord. All right. So after we play the C, all right. So there is this E flat right here. This is that C. All right. It kind of just rests there. You just sort of strum it. So yes, I am picking on all 4 of these strings. Sorry. So all 4 of the middle 4 strings here. All right. So it's called an E flat major. All right. So you're going to want to just let it sit there for a whole measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go over to it sounds to me like it's an E minor 7. All right. So it's just down. It's something like so So we're in E minor 7. So if you guys don't know what E minor 7 looks like, that's it. There's your E minor. And you just put your little finger right there on that third fret right here. Okay, just like that. All right, and then that's all 6 strings. And the strumming is sort of down, down, up, down, up. It's something like that. That's the foundation strum. You can always add more to that later. Sorry, something just happened to my screen. Give me a minute here. Go away. There we go. Excellent. All right, so then it goes, and then we're going to go to this A position. All right. Now this A, I play the A like this. All right. The reason I like playing it like this is because I'm going to need this little finger and these fingers to move around. These two are going to stay in place. So not this one here. I suppose you could do it this way, but it's a lot easier to do it this way. And you're actually going to start on what's called an A sus chord, which is right here. This is an A chord, right? With these three fingers here, and you're going to use the open A. But we're going to start it putting this little finger on the 3rd fret right in front of the ring finger. Okay, right in front of that. All right, keep the ring finger there because you're going to need it right away. So don't let it move yet. So and you're just going to strum it like the. That's kind of the melody. Da, 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 da. The way you're going to play that is little finger, ring finger, open, and then back to the A major. All right. So put that all in context so that we get to this part. All right, then you're going to sit on that G, right? So it's going to be 3, 4. All right, and we're going to start heading back to the beginning again. This is connecting the beginning. So what are we doing here? So after we play this part, wait, I can't play it slow. Fire myself, I'm no good. All right, 2, 3, 4, and then another strum on the G. All right, this here is what we call a D over F sharp. So, all right, that's the D chord. And the pointing finger goes here, and we mute this A, okay? Open D string. So it looks like this. This is how I play it. Now, some of you may play it like this, all right, with the thumb. I don't like using my thumb. I've never liked using my thumb for this type of thing. I like using it for muting, but not for playing the note. But some of you may be able to do it this way. Maybe you like doing it this way. That's your choice, but it is a D over F sharp. So, all right, I'd prefer this way because my hand is more open. And my hand's already actually out there. If I have to use my thumb, I've got to move my hand a little bit. I don't know. I can keep my hand pretty much in the same place, right? And then down to an E minor, and then to a D. All right, so it'd be like this. Wait. Start that picking right there. So G, D over F sharp, E minor, D. And when you get to that D, and then you're right back to the. Kind of cool, I think. So, in fact, let me just play that whole section. So we start out. I'm going to skip some of the singing since I can't sing like that guy. Brad Delp was amazing. Was a freak of nature, but. right, skip ahead. That ring, and then. Pretty. All right, so there we go. That, my friends, is More Than a Feeling. Hopefully this gets you started. I will have the tabs below. There, if you get into the C6 string quarter tab library, you probably find something else you can learn. But I'm going to get this tab in there hopefully tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow it will be in there. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this later, obviously it's already there. So just click the 16 quarter tab library and you can grab it. This song, as well as a whole ton of other songs, are in there, and it's constantly update. So just be sure to sign into that and join up. All right, join part of that community. Also, yes, I got the note finder down below. So click on the note finder if you need to know where your notes are at. I know that's been a popular thing out there. So try to get that worked in as well. And just go ahead and download that PDF. It is right there down below. So hopefully that will help you know where your notes are and maybe know how to play all these. Because if you notice these bar chords, I'm just going to give you an addendum here to the lesson. We're playing all these power chords, right? They're all the same thing. They look the same way, right? And so what determines the difference, of course, is the notes that's played. But an easy way that you can find this out is wherever your pointer finger is sitting, when you play these power chords like this, that is the name. That is the name of the chord. So G, C, because this is a G and a C and an E and a D and a C, because I know where my notes are at. E flat, because I know that that's an E flat. I can play that E flat bar chord. So those are things that can come in handy. So if you don't know it, get the note finder. It's really, really good. It will help you get all those notes figured out. You know where they're at. So when you're learning scales, it comes in handy, man. It's a big, big deal. So don't skimp on that. All right. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for joining in. I feel like weird, like I'm quitting so early. I've had a lot of fun playing this song. This is like, I grew up with this song, right? It's like, it was my first record that I bought. How many can say that too? My first record, working as a dishwasher, this album, actually there were three. I bought this album, Kansas Leftoverture, and Steve Miller, Fly Like an Eagle. Rode my bike. I just got my first paycheck, right? This is classic. What was I, 15, whatever it was. And got on the bike, rode my bike over to, what was it called, Windy City Music or something in Oak Lawn, and bought those records and brought them home and played them. And I just played them non-stop. So it's really, really stoked to be able to show you how to play this song. I'm stoked that I know it, because when I was listening to it, I thought one day I'm going to play like that. And now I can play that. So if you want to know more of this song, let me know in the comments below, or let me know, and I can definitely show you more to it. Maybe even get the leads in there. If you're open to the lead guitar part, I figured I just want to cover it so that everybody who's watching can at least play this part. All right, this part of the song, which is the most iconic, which is the one that everybody sings to anyway. But if you want to know the soloing, let me know. Let me, like I said, a comment below, and I will get back to you and tell you when it's going to come up, and I'll definitely come up with some solos. All right, so thanks for watching on this special night. I hope to be back next Wednesday at 7. That's the plan, or 7:15. I think it's going to be 7:15 next Wednesday. I look for the advertisements here on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're on the email list, you get updated on that. And so if you sign up to the 6 String Corner Library, they put you on the list. You'll know when these things are coming up ahead of time. So, and you can always send me an email back. That's a really good, close way of telling me, hey, you know, what about this? Or can I learn about that? So I'm open to all these types of things. My interests run all over the place. I want to help you guys out. That's what I'm here for. All right. So that's it. I'm going to stop talking and get back to rocking. All right. So, hey, everybody out there, no matter where you are in the country, wherever you are in the world, stay safe, be well, and stick around, because we're going to come around. I'll see you next Wednesday. And that is it. Adios. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. So long. Farewell.